right, again, welcome, and do we have any visitor or public comments this morning? Okay. Excellent, I realize I don't have a pen. It's going to be good, but we'll find one. All right, so we're going to pick up, thank you, look at them, they're coming from everywhere. Thank you. Agenda item number 5, we have a retirement presentation this morning to Mr. Lee McVeigh. And Lee is, you can go ahead and come up here and be the center of attention, Lee. Thank you. It's always mixed emotions, right, when it's retirement time, and you have to come up and bid somebody farewell and enjoy it. Lee and I have actually worked together for many, many years. Lee was the police chief in the city of Castroville for how many years, Lee?
23. Well, I worked there 23. I was chief for like 14.
So 14 of those years. So city of Castroville was a big part of what they did over there. Lee came and joined the sheriff's department. He's been here for 12 years. Lee has been in charge of the bailiffs. He's a sergeant. Has done a fantastic job for us, and I know all the courts and stuff appreciate everything that you've done, Lee. And we hope that you have the very best retirement. And of course, you can come back and visit anytime. Just don't say all rise when you walk in. But thank you so much for what you've done. We do have a plaque for you right there. And I don't think this should not be new. Okay, good, making sure. So congratulations to Lee. Don't go to that one. Hey, well, we didn't have the court. Where y'all at? Y'all come back up. We need another one. Sorry about that. I thought y'all were all back here. Well, you're back here. All right, let's try it again. Come on, act like it's like each other this morning. Excellent. So Lee, you're welcome to give a speech. Try to keep it to 15 minutes if we have a long
No, I appreciate giving me the opportunity to work here. It's always been a pleasure to work here, and I'm going to miss everybody that I work with because it's a great county to work for and everything else, but I'll still be around. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, next up we have a series of these actually, but we're going to take them one at a time. Item number 6, this is discuss and take possible action to enter an order approving an annual service plan and an assessment plan relating to Megan's Landing Public Improvement District and finding and ordering other matters in connection therewith. Mr. Bedford, good morning.
Thank you, Judge. Clay Bedford, representing the county special counsel. We have a string of these that we're approving. I know you have a long agenda today, and these seem like long items, but they're really not. These are continuation annual requirements under Chapter 372 of the Local Government Code that requires that we basically affirm the plan or change the plan that we adopted at the time that we put these public improvement districts into place. And then once we annually approve them by the Commissioner's Court, they're filed of record, and we just do this as an annual maintenance requirement. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about each of these subdivisions of these public improvement districts and the updated service assessment plan, which is really updated for current assessed value and number of homes that have been developed to date, or what are part of the plan that is before you today. So the first one that we have today is Megan's Landing. There are 89 homes out of 376 planned homes that are currently built. The assessment is the same as it was at adoption, which is 45 cents per $100 value. We have currently in 2026 about $45 million of assessed value on the ground So of those 89 homes, that's what the assessed value has been determined to be at the appraisal district. And the final assessment is projected to occur in 2051. As you recall, since these are assessments, they're not like taxes that go on in perpetuity. When we set these up at the beginning, there is an amount of money that is imposed upon the property specifically for paying for the cost of certain public improvements, streets, drainage, sidewalks, things of that nature. These are in unincorporated areas, so in order to provide the public infrastructure, that's where the assessment comes in place. But once that public improvement initial assessment is satisfied, then the assessment goes away. It's not in perpetuity like taxes. Now, you do collect taxes on all of these properties as you do any other development within Medina County. There is no abatement. There is no any type of give. This is a developer that decided to impose an assessment within a geographic area to elevate the public infrastructure that's available to these neighborhoods, and that's what they pay off. So obviously I won't give an introduction for all of these, just a little background. So happy to answer any questions. Megan's Landing is the property that's directly next to the Microsoft facility. From my estimation, it looks like it's just driving by. It is certainly in the middle of full-on development. There are a lot of houses going there. And I would recommend approval.
I will make a motion to enter into the approving of the annual service assessment plan relating to Megan's Landing pit.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sitter, seconded by Commissioner Castroville to enter in order approving an annual service plan and assessment plan relating to Megan's Landing PID. Is there any other discussion?
A special one on this one here, it is, like you said, it's joining Microsoft. Microsoft's condensation, what little bit of sewer they have in the Microsoft facility itself, which would be the bathroom, is going through a sewer treatment plant and is being reused 100% within the subdivision. It does not leave the property. And I think that's a big plus of what we have targeted for Petranco Road area, the people that want to come along and put in these recycling plants. They're working tremendously good. And that is no cost to the county whatsoever. It's just a PID agreement, a DA agreement we do with the developer within the PID to get these facilitated. But thank you for following up on the plate.
Certainly.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 7, discuss and take possible action to enter an order approving an annual service plan and assessment plan relating to Petranco Acres Public Improvement District and finding and ordering other matters in connection therewith.
Same background discussion on this one. Petranco Acres, they have built 69 of 96 planned homes. In 2026, $60 million of assessed value. This is a 50-cent assessment, and it is projected to expire in 2043. If you recall, we had and for some of you that weren't on the board at the time, there were a series of these Petranco area public improvement districts that were all created within a year of each other: Petranco Ranch, Petranco Acres, Petranco West. And so you'll see that they're in various stages of development. This one is about 2/3 of the way done.
I will make a motion to enter into agreement approving the annual assessment plan related to Petranco Acres pit.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sitter, seconded by Commissioner Castroville to enter an order approving an annual service plan and assessment plan relating to Petranco Acres PID.
And actually, in discussion on this one here, even though it's only 69 or 70 lots, homes have been built, the subdivision is totally sold out.
I'm assuming not only one of these, but the assessment shows up on their typical county tax statement.
So in these homes, just looking at the last two, I think the average home value for Megan's Landing is around 500,000, 550, something like that. Okay.
I think that's right.
And then Petranco Acres is probably around 650, 700,000.
Yes, if you're looking at 69 homes, completed homes, and a $60 million value, the lot value has some as well, but that is a significant value. I mean, I'm looking at numbers here: 824, 721, 594, 794, 818. So yeah, they're averaging in that $600,000 to $800,000 range, with probably $750 in the middle.
So good quality homes,
Yes, ma'am.
capital recovery cost is relatively quick.
Yes.
And I'm saying one more time, and I'm glad that these people are here, is this assessment plan, once these people move into a zone, if you don't live within the zone, nobody in the rest of the county is affected whatsoever. It's just everybody says, well, we're paying for the subdivision. No, we're not paying for the subdivision. This is for the upgrades what they want. These people are wanting private gates. Not all of them have them, but most of them do. Most of them want walking trails. Not all of them have it. Some of them do. Some of them have large parks. Some of them have walking trails, like 8 to 10 mile walking trails. That's what these people are paying for. I get phone calls weekly, how come I'm being assessed? You do not have to live in the subdivision. Me and the judge took a very lengthy tour here a few months ago, and looked at the different subdivisions. We have a home for anybody in Medina County.
Clay, one of the questions that I'd like to ask is, the initial capital, if the subdivision is built out sooner than the 2043,
We'll get to that, we're trying to write this about it, pay off.
so once that capital is recovered, is there ongoing maintenance fees?
They're through the HOA.
They're through the HOA,
Mhm.
okay? So once that capital is recovered, that portion goes away. So it might not extend all the way to 2043, it might be paid off soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If the assessed value increases at a higher than projected cost, you could address that in one of two ways. You could lower your annual assessment to meet the 2043 guideline based on the higher value, or you could accelerate the time for payoff. So 2043 becomes 2040, for example, at the elevated or the current rate of assessment.
I'll address that in the next one.
Okay.
Well, that just raised a curiosity question for me. If it's paid off before all of the homes are constructed, somebody moving into that district later on would maybe
Just read it out.
No, there is an amount per home.
Okay.
Yes, because you have to impute benefit equally across the entirety of the universe.
You can't wait, just time it right.
No, you cannot. You cannot.
That makes sense. So the people that are living there, they potentially don't have this the quicker the subdivision gets going.
No, so it's the way that it works is, so if you have a mile of road and you have 10 homes along that road, and you say that the road is 1/10 per home, the only amount that one of those homes can pay is 1/10 of the benefit that they derive. And so you would have a backloaded, let's say someone comes online and their home is built in year 1, and then you have another person whose home is built in year 5. And you have a 20-year recovery. Well, the first home is going to have the full 20 years to recover. The home that's built in year 5 is going to have a higher rate for longer in order to recover when it happens. So if you look at the absorption schedules, when you originally set up these homes for these public improvement districts, it's not assuming all of the homes coming online in year 1. It's assuming 10 homes per year over a 10-year horizon so that you can track these to when the assessment comes online to pay for the improvement when the home is actually delivered. But some people, on an individualized basis, the assessment might disappear for them in 2038 because they were the first home built. The last home built might go all the way to 2043. And so that's to make sure that no person, to your point, says, well, I'm just going to wait and get into my home on the last day and then I'm going to get this right assessment. Yeah, so that can't happen. The law prevents that from occurring.
Does the individual homeowner have the opportunity to pay it off all in one?
It does.
Okay.
So the homeowner can come in and say, how much of assessment do I have left on my particular home, and pay it as well.
Okay, so they do have that option.
So they-
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Item number 8, discuss and take possible action to enter an order approving an annual service plan and an assessment plan relating to Petranco Oaks Public Improvement District Number 1 and finding and ordering other matters in connection therewith. Mr. Renfro.
The Petranco Oaks subdivision, 128 homes out of 284 planned have been built, $84 million of assessed value in 2026 is projected, 45-cent assessment, which is the same as at the time of inception, and we're looking at a 2055 projected assessment expiration date.
I'll make a motion to enter an order approving annual service plan and assessment plan relating to Petranco Oaks PID number 1.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Lawler, to enter an order approving an annual service plan and assessment plan relating to Petranco Oaks PID number 1. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 9, discuss and take possible action to enter an order approving an annual service plan and an assessment plan relating to Petranco Ranch Public Improvement District and finding and ordering other matters in connection therewith. Mr. Renfro.
This is the original public improvement district that came to the county. And this one is a little bit different. If you look at the details, it's interesting, and I think you see some trends that are somewhat masked by the other ones because they continue to be in a build scenario. So we're still in the first three, we're still projecting an annual increase year over year because we're putting new value on the ground. Homes are still being built. In Petranco Ranch number 1, 374 of 374 homes have been built. So they've been completed for 3 or 4 years. In 2025, the assessed value of this subdivision was $252 million. In 2026, it's projected at $224 million. So it's a reduction of almost $30 million in assessed value. I believe, I haven't confirmed this because I was looking at this morning in preparation for this, but this is a reflection of the reduction or the increase of the homestead exemption that is anticipated to be voted on or approved tomorrow. And so just like your pendulum can swing in favor of accelerated payoff of the assessment if you outstrip or outperform your assessed value, if you have lesser value because of change in tax law, the opposite can happen. And it could actually keep that rate elevated for a longer period of time. So this is a very interesting one. As we said, the first one, this is an 18-cent increase, or an 18-cent assessment. Same has been in place since inception. Their projected expiration is 2038. Makes me feel very old to think that 2038 is not that far away because we've been attending to this one for quite a while now. But the way that it performs has not been as anticipated because you always assume that the valuation at inception is going to be static and you don't know what's coming out of the state legislature. So this is an interesting one and a good case study to see as we get more information, the models become more refined, and this is a very good data point on a go-forward basis for solidifying your assumptions.
Okay, and on this one here, like I said, this was the first one we did. This was actually supposed to be a trailer park when it came to me, and this is what it wound up as being, 350 or 375 homes. One of the best ones we have, I feel, in the county. And when we went in on this thing, we had a $250,000 assessment on our amortization, and we were told by the people in San Antonio, y'all would never sell a house in Medina County for $250,000. Well, they're $800,000 now. And I think that's elevated the product payoff. Aren't some of their bids coming up next year or be paid off?
We're meeting with the Developers Council to discuss that next week, actually. We'll
Okay.
get an update on this.
And it sounded like the first wave of these things would be paid up to their obligations because our assessed plan was $250 and now they're selling for $800. I think on here it's about $500,000 or $600,000.
And that's correct. And then you have to, what they're selling for versus what they're on the tax rolls for can be different because of different exemptions that they have.
So that's kind of answer to your question too. Yes, elevated price does make a big difference. And in fact, you fill it up, that first bunch of houses does get paid off. There's a lot that goes into one of these, and like I say, it sounds like they're going to, this first section of it will be, their pit will be gone, and handing it over, I think, to an HOA. I'm not sure how they're going to do that.
We're working through the details.
But anyhow.
And I would comment on that, things that we learned over time, the concept of an HOA being fully responsible for the maintenance requirements in the original one It was not present like it is in the later ones. And so that's part of the discussions that we're having as they're getting close to a payoff. But you see, this one continues to have assessments through 2038, while we also have the wave of the first homes that are looking at paying off their assessment next year. So that's that example of kind of a protracted schedule for completion. Even though some have been paying for longer or for a while, they'll drop off while other ones continue to pay through the duration of the original plan.
And this is supposed to be like a 20-year build out, it built out in less than 10 years.
It's quick.
It was actually about 7 years it built out for that. So with that being said, I will make a motion to enter approving the annual service assessment plan related to Trenker Ranch Pit.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sitter, second by Commissioner Castelloni to enter an order approving an annual service plan and assessment plan relating to Petranco Ranch Pit. Is there any other discussion?
I have one quick question. This one, since it was so early on, this was an 18-cent assessment per every $100 value. The ones that we have now, they're in the range of 45 to 50 cents. Is there a specific reason why this one was set so low?
There is. This one also included the tax increment reinvestment zone overlay. And so it was the only time that the county agreed to include the TERS as part of the concept plan. And as Commissioner Sitter said, the original plan was to have some kind of a manufactured home development with half-acre lots and septic tanks. And I think they were projecting 350 septic tanks or something like that. And so the negotiated terms with the developer were that the county would be willing to grant a tax increment reinvestment zone in exchange for wastewater treatment facility, walking trails, wider streets, sidewalks, but also in order to get the developer to commit money to an emergency services district station that has been built and is in close proximity on land that was donated by one of the other public improvement districts. And so the amount of give back that the county got at that time, the county felt like it was warranted for participating some of their future tax payment if that development were to make. Now, the developer gave all of that stuff on the front end, so if this development didn't make, there would be no source of repayment under the TERS. So the developer was still taking risk. That was something that the county did because it was a risk based on what the market was telling the developer, that if you build this, you're liable to go broke because nobody's going to buy it. I've always been of the belief that when you are in these areas where you're the first mover, you're probably going to get the best deal if your project works. As the concept is proven, subsequent people don't get the same deal. And so you see that reflected in the different assessments that are within the subsequent subdivisions, the subsequent bids. So county already got their water treatment facility. They already got their emergency services district station. And so there's not a need. So therefore, there wasn't the additional benefit given to those taxpayers.
Okay.
So, or those developers.
Yeah, one more thing, that's how the DDA agreements work, these PID agreements are open-end contracts. And it's up to the commissioner and the court to fill in this open end. On this one here, he said a TERS, we had set back $1.5 million for a emergency center. At that time, it was FAR, 911, and the sheriff's department. We get to another DA agreement on Petranco Acres. I went to the developer on that, the owner of it. I said, would you mind throwing in 2 or 3 acres for a site? And that's how we got the brand new beautiful building that we got over on Petranco Road, was through TERS agreement between 2 totally separate developers. That's how it's supposed to work, because that's how it's supposed to work. And that's what this court has been extremely good at getting across to the.
Sure, and there, as the county grew, providing those services out there was a responsibility of either the ESD or the county. And instead of putting that on the entire tax base, you had a developer obligated itself to do that. And the source of repayment was that the development within this geographic area had to materialize. If it didn't materialize, the county wasn't out anything because there is no source of tax revenue to pay the developer back, but you still have your fire station. You still have your wastewater treatment facility, which has turned into kind of a backbone piece of infrastructure that you can build the rest of these things around.
Any other discussion?
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item 10, discuss and take possible action to enter an order approving an annual service plan and an assessment plan relating to Castroville Ranch Public Improvement District Number 2 and finding and ordering other matters in connection therewith. Mr. Linford.
This was the extension of the original Castroville Ranch. Given its success and the acceptance on the market, the developer purchased an adjoining piece of property and petitioned the Commissioners Court to replicate the financial transaction as it related to Public Improvement District Number 1 and Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Number 1. This was 114 planned homes. 114 homes have been built. $81 million of assessed value in 2026, and this is another 18-cent assessment as it mirrored the original deal, projected expiration in 2044. So that's reflective of the 6-year difference between the original one and this one.
I will make a motion to enter into an order approving the annual assessment plan relating to Castroville West.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Simmons, second by Commissioner Waller to enter an order approving an annual service plan and assessment plan relating to Castroville Ranch Pit Number 2. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 11, discuss and take possible action to enter an order approving an annual service plan and assessment plan relating to Castroville West Public Improvement District and finding and ordering other matters in connection therewith.
Castroville West, 19 of 114 homes have been built, $7.6 million value in 2026, 45-cent assessment with a 2046 expiration. And Commissioner, you might want to help me on this one. Is this the one with the larger lots?
Yes.
And that's why it's a little bit delayed.
It does a longer lot.
But still providing value and working. I just think that it's a longer market acceptance given the product that they're building.
Yeah, and like I said, the reason the other one had an 18-cent pit too, they did not get reuse water in that second home. Okay, I will make a motion to enter into order agreement plan and assessment plan relating to Castroville West pit.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Sitter, second by Commissioner Castellini to enter an order approving an annual service plan and assessment plan relating to Castroville West Pit. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 12, discuss and take possible action to enter an order approving an annual service plan and assessment plan relating to Enclave at Castroville Gardens Public Improvement District Number 1 and finding and ordering other matters in connection therewith. Mr. Linford.
This development is a different product. I believe these are the garden homes. The lock and leaves, 26 out of 79 have been developed. $11.7 million value in 2026, 45-cent assessment through 2047, and this one's already demonstrating that there's an expectation of dropping to 13 cents for the balance of the period from 2048 to 2055. So this is another one relatively early in the development process, but a different product.
I will make a motion to order approving the annual service assessment plan relating to the Enclave at Castroville Gardens pit 1.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sitter, second by Commissioner Lynch to enter an order approving an annual service plan and assessment plan relating to the Enclave at the Castroville Gardens Pit Number 1. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, item number 13, a public hearing to receive public comment concerning the boundaries of the Vieira Public Improvement District.
Before the public hearing is open, I'll give you a little bit of background on this. This is the Vieira Public Improvement District that has already been created by this Commissioner's Court. We have had multiple presentations and proposals, including a public hearing and a adoption of a resolution creating the PID. The law requires that prior to creating a public improvement district, that we have to identify by meets and bounds and location map the property that would be included in the PID. The original property description that we received from the landowners had about 520 acres. So that was what we noticed, and that was what we acted upon when we brought the public hearing before you. Prior to the creation of the public improvement district, because of some transfers of property within that footprint, the actual amount that we approved was like 481 acres. And so on the base, but that was within the 520 acre footprint that had been noticed, so it was just a smaller piece, so same landowner, same general geography. On the basis of that, we presented for approval, recommended approval, and this court did approve the public improvement district. We are now getting into the point of preparing the financial transaction, and there was a parcel of property that apparently was inaccurately included in the 481 acres. And so the actual amount of acreage within this is 472.775. That has now been verified by the engineers and the developer. Now, we had the ability to administratively say that was a scrivener's error, and just because it was included within the original notice piece, modify that acreage. We did not feel that that was appropriate or that was transparent. So what we're doing today is having a new public hearing that identifies the final acreage, which is within the same footprint that has always been within this process. Does not change anything about the details of the development as it has been presented. This is just a clarification of the acreage. But out of an abundance of caution, we thought it best to have another public hearing, present it to you today, give the public an opportunity to answer questions before we proceed with this being the final acreage. So that's the background on the public hearing and the reason why we're here today. I'm here with it.
Excellent. With that, I will open the public hearing at 9:34 a.m. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to this item? I'll let you speak in just a minute so we can make it 9:35. I at least need the clock to change. Hard to explain
Yes.
at the same time, so. It will close at 9:35. All right, I'm going to close the public hearing. It is 9:35 a.m. And we will move to agenda item 14, discuss and take possible action to approve a resolution modifying the boundaries of the Viera Public Improvement District and approving the professional services agreement related thereto. Mr. Benford.
Yes, so I've explained the purpose of the modification of the boundaries. There's another item in this professional services agreement. What we do is the Commissioner's Court is aware, as we enter into some kind of a definitive action that the developer is requesting that we do, creation of a bid, financing, bond issuance, or whatever that process may be, we have the developer to contribute money to the county's treasury, so that the county or its taxpayers or residents are not responsible for fees that might be incurred in pursuing a developer-driven request. These are appraisals, they are professional fees, they are publication fees. And so what we do is we have the developer sign an agreement, they put in an amount of money with the county treasury, the county, which in this case is $50,000. The county has a source of payment for these fees, and if the developer decides to not pursue, then they notify us of termination. The county looks at whatever money's left and refunds it to them if there isn't anything. But that way we can make sure that we proceed without exposing the treasury of the county.
I make a motion to approve the resolution modifying the boundaries of the Viera PID and approving the PSA in connection therewith.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Waller, seconded by Commissioner Lynch, to approve the resolution modifying the boundaries of the Viera Public Improvement District and approving a professional services agreement related thereto. Any other discussion?
Yes, I got a little bit. Newspaper people, Linda and Devon, they're gonna have a groundbreaking on this subdivision on the 13th at 10 o'clock. I think we have a conflict with some other stuff going on, but we got a lot going on in the county right now. This here is about a $880 million project. It's probably one of the most laid out subdivisions. Commissioner Castroville was lucky enough, about the first meeting when she got into office, she was the first one invited up there to get this thing. This thing has a school site in it that we were noted in. It has about 40-50 acres of commercial development. It has walking trails. It's going to have amazing amenity center. They also, what's really big on this one here, we are figuring a thoroughfare road from Petranco headed towards Highway 90. That's gonna be totally developer driven, but like I said, that is part of our 381 agreement, is on this going towards Highway 90. It has another major thoroughfare going into the new school system that we have over Petranco Road. If you have not been over there, that is a total, absolute nightmare traffic. And this is probably gonna relieve 30–40%, I would say, by being able to cut through the subdivision to get to the back end school for staff, personnel, buses, and the like. It's not gonna be a public entrance, but other than emergency exit. But anyhow, if anybody wants to come out, it's groundbreaking. This has been an amazing project to work on, probably one of my finest so far. And I'm very proud of what me and Mr. Castroville and the Commission Court have approved to bring this type of development into Medina County. That's all I got.
Excellent. Anybody else? All right. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you all for having me. It's a great pleasure to see you as always. It would be remiss if I didn't introduce my associate, RJ Ruiz. He does all this work and keeps us smart, and next time you probably will see him presenting. So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, John. All right, item number 15, discuss and take possible action to approve a Chapter 312 tax abatement agreement with CyrusOne LP, a Maryland limited partnership over approximately 245 acres of property located in the CyrusOne Reinvestment Zone Number 1. So we had a public hearing on this a couple of weeks ago, and I would just like to, in the interest of the public, kind of run back through the highlights and report. If I miss something, y'all are certainly welcome to chime in, but the highlights of this agreement is it is a Chapter 312 agreement. It is a 10-year for a period of 10 years. Called out in this agreement, particularly for tax rate and county taxes, as it applies into this agreement. It has the language in here that means that the annual ad valorem tax rate that's adopted by the county for general maintenance and operating purposes, specifically excluding the county's farm-to-market tax and ad valorem tax levy for payment of debt service. So just for clarity, to make sure everybody understands, this is 80% of the maintenance and operations portion of our taxes only. Also in this agreement, there's a minimum job requirements, has a cumulative creation and maintenance of at least 40 full-time jobs equivalent, and they have to also be compensated at a monetary level at least equal to the, I'm sorry, let me get it here, 120% of what the average weekly wage in the county is. Additionally, in section 3.02, number D of this agreement, on or before December 31st of 2025, the company, which is CyrusOne, shall pay Medina County $5 million to the county for the county to use to complete contemplated road improvements to County Road 4516. In addition, this is the investment must be minimal of $600 million. The meet the minimum job requirements have to be by January 1 of the 5th year after the year in which the construction completion certificate has been delivered. Already talked about the 80%. Again, that's at the M&O only. And I do believe I have hit the highlights of the agreement. And we do have with us today, Stephanie is with us. She's from Sheets and Crossfield that's helped to put this agreement together. Thank you for being here, Stephanie. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I believe you hit every bullet point I had on my piece of paper, so I think.
I did pretty good. We didn't even compare notes then. That's awesome. And we do have CyrusOne here today. Is there anything you all would like to add? Or
The only thing I would add, we do have, we also have start construction within 23 months. Is another thing that's
correct. Yes, within 23 months, correct, construction has to start.
So I had just a quick question to you. We always talk about the tax abatement agreements, and you said that it's 80% of the M&O.
Yes, and I actually, we're gonna cover those numbers too, because I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great, because when you look at the abatement, I want the public to really understand that all of the taxes regarding school districts, the taxes regarding, your emergency services, and all of that stuff, that's not being abated. That is stuff that the school,
100%
that the school district still, is going to get that funding. So when you're looking at a $600 million investment and what that brings to the school district to make improvements for the students, teachers, and staff, that's really a windfall for them, where they don't see as much coming from, say, a smaller subdivision, or the larger acre subdivisions, the 5-acre, the 10-acre tracts. When you get something like a CyrusOne that has $600 million, that's going to be a great revenue stream for our other partners that we have in town.
Absolutely. So to that point, big projects require big pieces of paper, and also get it big enough so I can actually read it. So, but just projections on what the county after the abatement in our M&O, we would still receive $3.2 million. This is over the 10-year period. The county portion for the road and bridge and the debts is right at $6.6 million. So combined in that 10 years, it's almost $9.8 million. Are almost averaging, it's 979,812 average annually. The ESD, which is ESD number 1 in that area, over the 10 years would receive $5 million. So about $500,000 a year. The groundwater conservation district would receive $320,000, a little over. Medina Valley Independent School District is $58,787,000.
58 million?
58 million. The property taxes for the hospital district is almost $5 million. So total value or total received by all entities over that 10-year period is forecasted $78,907,000 a year. I'm sorry, $78,907,000. So almost $7.9 million annually is what it is to all entities involved.
That's a great explanation.
It's a big number. It's a big
You
number.
get a copy of that?
I don't have any more paper this size.
I'll find some. I'll put it on my phone. And I'm asking these questions every day. What's bringing in the county? It's significant.
Well, I think
For the footprint we're having.
these, just on this, to me, the important pieces of this is when you're talking that kind of money and the things that we need to be able to do in y'all's departments on roads and the things that are coming in these subdivisions, they do require these improvements, and doing them and having somebody like this that's going to help us to get those things done is
Okay, my question is, only 40 employees, is that per shift or is that
There's a
combined?
total of 40 full-time. It's a minimum of 40 full-time.
40 full?
Total.
So at that time, the traffic would be nothing.
Correct. Yeah, the traffic.
The traffic isn't even no brainer. Very good.
Anything else, y'all, you'd like to add?
Yes, so thank you all very much. But on the employees, so it's 40 minimum, right? That campus will probably be larger, so we'll look at probably over that for sure. Those are shifts, so they're working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so they're limited traffic. We will have
That's gonna
traffic.
be 40 for 24 hours a day.
Yes, right.
So more with 13 employees at a shift.
That's right.
Okay.
And then traffic, obviously, we talked, traffic during construction will obviously be higher, and we're going to leverage 90 to start and work with you guys on whatever you need.
Okay, the next question is, I got a lot of people interested in these jobs? Where are y'all gonna target, to high schools or somewhere like that?
So we're working with our contractors mostly to actually start reaching out to the high schools and kind of setting up job fairs. So we've done this, we've started this in Bosque County as well, so we're looking to kind of do the same thing here.
So you just target like the high school kids, in other words, they can start a job for about 40,000 more than being a commissioner.
They're a lot younger though.
Am I too old? Am I too old to apply?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, and we, you know, ultimately, we'll take some of that construction staff and roll them into the operational staff.
Good enough. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? If not, I entertain a motion.
I make a motion that the court find that the property improvements in the application submitted by CyrusOne LP meet the county's previously adopted guidelines and criteria for granting tax abatements pursuant to Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code, that the property is located within the CyrusOne Reinvestment Zone Number 1, designated on September 22nd, 2025, and that the proposed project will contribute to new jobs and investment within the reinvestment zone. I further move the court to approve the Chapter 312 tax abatement agreement with CyrusOne LP.
All right, I have a motion as stated by Commissioner Lynch, seconded by Commissioner Sitter. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Excellent.
Is that total agreement in here now?
Yes. You have it.
Even the one you read?
Yes. Yes, we will. Yes. Excellent. Thank you all. All right, the next item, number 16. Discuss and take possible action to approve an application to vacate and replat lot 34 of the San Antonio Trust subdivision, thereby creating the Medina Trail subdivision. Archery consultants, or any, somebody here for that one to do?
Somebody.
Okay.
But it is in precinct 3, correct? It is down there off of County Road 664 and 676 corner. 8-lot subdivision, all fronting county roads, all with water wells. We had to do a little maneuvering to make sure the driveway met our county road standards. So there's a couple of them on the 676 side are going to be sharing driveways, and that was enough to give us the spacing that was required between the driveways. They've run all their water availability studies by our in-house engineering firm, and they have verified that they were good with water. I think that's it. It's been kind of a long process of rearranging this to meet our requirements, and so I think they have finally gotten there. So with that, I will make a motion that we approve the application to vacate and replat lot 34 of the San Antonio Trust subdivision, thereby creating Medina Trail subdivision.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lynch, seconded by Commissioner Waller to approve an application to vacate or replat lot 34 of the San Antonio Trust subdivision, thereby creating the Medina Trail subdivision. Is there any further discussion? I'd just like to thank you for working on that, and it's nice to see some of the things that you did here as far as the driveways. Come in here and work on one of these, so that's awesome. Yes, that's a big plus. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 17, discuss and take possible action to approve a preliminary plat establishing the following units in Megan's Land Use subdivision located in precinct 2 on FM 1957. It's for unit 4C and unit 5C. And there's anything more?
Yeah, he is in the back or somewhere, I'll worry about it.
You got tired away?
I'm over there every day, and this thing is, he just mentioned it, it is selling out very good, especially this section of it. I will make a motion that we approve the preliminary plat for the following Megan Landing subdivision in precinct 2, unit 4C and 5C.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sitter, second by Commissioner Castellini, to approve the preliminary plan establishing Megan's Landing subdivision, Unit 4C and 5C. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, so this is kind of the next two, and it goes with that public improvement assessment. So right now, that public improvement has 89 of the 376, so this is bringing on more houses. Okay. So this, I don't see this subdivision slowing down anytime soon.
It's not slowing down, no. Well, while we're seeing through the county, a whole lot of these, I would call them beginner houses. It's sad when the $275,000 house is a beginner house, but these things up around $500,000 to $600,000. The people are coming in town, they got cash, they don't need no loan, and they're selling quite fast.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 18, discuss and take possible action to consider an application to vacate the replat Lot 9A of the San Antonio Trust subdivision to determine whether the revision affects a public interest or a public property of any type and authorize the appropriate notice requirements. It's located at Precinct 2 on County Road 5715.
This has been in Commissioner Court more than most of the citizens of Medina County have. I think this is the fourth time this one's been coming through here, and I think we finally got it down to where it should have been. If they'd have walked into my office, we could have had this done the first meeting in 20, 30 minutes. But I got a developer and lawyer that aren't really on the right. They're not talking to each other, I'll tell you that. But anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and approve this. It's 4 lots off of County Road 5715. Like I say, David, we did go in and we removed their driveways where they're not so cumbersome, I'll call it. And I did tell them that there's going to be language on here, because I guarantee you, this thing is going to have some water issues. It is not in the floodplain, but I can guarantee you, it's going to be underwater. Part of it.
So that they just, for clarity.
The engineer and the owner are going to be responsible for whatever takes place with these things. Next commissioner comes into court.
So just for clarity on this agenda item, we're not approving it today. This is only to determine whether the revision affects a public interest or public property of any type, so we can begin the notification process. It'll be coming back to us.
That'll be fine.
So today we need to, our motion is going to be to whether, if it does not affect it, that's what we're going to need a motion on that for today. Just to start the notification of the process that we have to go through.
That sounds good.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, that sounded good to me, yeah.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept it.
So our no, we need to, this is, we need a motion, again, or do the agenda item again, so everybody's clear on what we're doing. This is to consider the application to vacate and replat line 9A of the San Antonio Trust subdivision to determine whether the revision affects a public interest or public property of any type and authorize the appropriate notice requirements. That's what we need to do on this part, so we can start the process. If it affects, if y'all remember, we started doing this, if it affects a public interest or public property, then there's a whole other method of notification we have to use.
So moved. You can do that more.
I need a motion.
I will make a motion that we have to accept and consider the application to vacate and replant lot 9 of San Antonio's Trust subdivision to determine whether the revision.
What did you determine, is it affecting the public interest?
If this thing, if they put the streets in here like they're going to, yes it will. It won't flood out there with north of it. It would affect.
Okay, so if you have a concern on it, then you need to not approve. If that is your concern, then you need to do the other notification process.
You know, I got the survey, I got everything there this year. It is going to affect it.
Your Honor, we're looking for a finding
Correct.
of whether or not the revision would affect a public property interest such as a school, public road, parks, that type of
Right.
And that if it does, then there's one set of notice requirements, and if it doesn't, then there's an abbreviated set of notification requirements that the statute requires.
But the water and those kind of things will be through the application or through the process of the development portion of it, right? This is just the public interest parts of it.
Right.
So it has to be notified.
Well, or, I mean, the question is, does it affect the public interest at the moment?
That's the finding, just whether or not it affects.
Obviously not, no.
Right, so, yeah, so the finding would have to be that it does not, so we can follow the process, it does not affect it.
Okay.
So we would need that to be in motion.
Okay, the applicant considers the application, this will not affect public interest
Our public property.
on public property of any type, otherwise the appropriate notice requirement on precinct 2 on private road, on county road 5715.
All right, a motion.
I'm not sure what I'm saying.
Okay, let me restate what Commissioner Sitter's motion is. Commissioner Sitter's motion is to consider the application to vacate replat line A of the San Antonio Trust subdivision, and it is determined that it does not affect public interest or public property of any type, which that's what his motion is. That it's not affecting public property or public. So therefore, we can proceed with the notification portions. And this is for the application process only, we're not approving the subdivision. This is to start the process of notifications.
Well, I'm just looking at the agenda item. The agenda item is to consider an application to vacate to determine whether
Right.
the revision affects.
We have to determine that. We're making a determination, and his motion is it does not affect public interest or public property of any type. That's Commissioner's motion.
I'm as confused as you are, David.
That's how we started the one you just approved. We started,
By this same agenda item?
yes, yes. Because it's either,
And we determined right here in court that it does
Yes.
not affect the public property?
yes,
And that's how we made the motion?
yes.
I second. Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion and a second that on the vacate replat of lot 9A of the San Antonio Trust subdivision, the determination has been made that it does not affect the public interest or public property of any type, and we authorize the appropriate notice requirements. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 19, discuss and take possible action to adopt a Texas Department of Agricultural, Texas, Feeding Texas, Home Delivered Meal Grant Program Resolution for Medina Senior Citizen for program year 2026. You all probably know we do this every year. This is also a part of our budget where we give $50,000 to the Meals on Wheels program. And this actually, that is one of the requirements that you'll see in the order that says the county hereby certifies that it has made a grant to the organization in the amount of $50,000.
I'll move that we adopt Texas Department of Agricultural, Texans, Feeding Texans, Home Delivered Meal Grant Program Resolution for the Medina Senior Center for program year 2026.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Lawler, to adopt the Texas Department of Agriculture, Texans, Feeding Texans, Home Delivered Meal Grant Program Resolution for the Medina Senior Citizen for program year 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is this a blue communication? Is it blue? Is that blue?
Nope.
Anybody have a blue pen? Jennifer, I would need one for to sign that. Everything I have is black pens over here.
That's rule,
Can't read, I didn't sign it right here.
Yes, thank you.
If you twist Jennifer's arm, she'll probably let you do that.
Okay.
But don't, be careful, there's lots of cameras when you're twisting her arm.
But can we get a picture?
Yes, that'd be fantastic. You should. I think she went to get her copy right.
Did you need a new pen? Did you get one? I have one.
I got it, no, I've signed it. Jennifer just went to make a copy.
Oh, okay.
And this is Kelly Smith.
How are you?
Yes, hi. It's been a while.
Yes, I'm doing okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's even, y'all are like FedEx, pick that thing up and go.
Yes.
We'll keep that in mind, we need something delivered.
That's the way around.
Right?
Yeah.
Before y'all move, I need to get your names and your position.
Excellent. Oh, that's, you're good right there, that's fine. There you go.
Get all commissions in.
I'm missing you, David.
I'm trying.
Excuse me, Commissioner Lynch.
Young man.
I guess it's on video. I don't know what's going on here.
It's gonna be hard to run that in the paper.
Yeah, well, I can do still shots out of it. It's just being weird. There we go. It's the person operating.
Is your light on intentionally?
Is my what? Yeah, when I had the camera
Okay, it's been on
on.
long. Congratulations, thank you. All you need is a piece of paper, you already got
That's
the money.
okay, that's all.
I know, right?
Thank you.
Let me see the mic.
Exactly,
Thank
thank
you
you all.
very much.
Thank you all. All right, next up we have agenda item number 20. And this is discuss and take possible action to approve a project management agreement with the Nueces River Authority to engage in studies of flood hazards and improve the long-range management of flood-prone areas in Medina County. As you all know, we've had quite a bit of discussion over this, and this is the final document to have an agreement with them. And I would like to thank Maggie for leading and so much for your hard work on this to get this document to the end. I'm just going to go back to Exhibit A, which is $470,340 was the amount that our portion of the original area, which is the Nueces River Authority area. And we're paying that back at zero interest over 10 years. So it's $47,034 annually for 10 years. That is in our budget for this year. Additionally, if you go to Exhibit C, which is page 11, it's one-time payment we're paying them, and that's in our budget, current budget of $217,991. And that is for the Medina watershed portion, so the extreme northeast part of our county that's not covered in the Nueces, but this is for them. We will have the entirety of our county flood map. So,
That was my number one goal.
yeah,
Because
it's gonna be nice.
we need to be able to, as subdivisions get developed or as property gets developed, much like the 4-lot subdivision, that we just, accepted the application. This study is going to provide us with much more accurate details on where flooding potential in this county.
Correct, well, it's gonna help us with that, we're gonna have to start looking at where we retain, I mean, it's gonna be so helpful. Also, the FEMA maps are not only outdated, but, the detail on them's not good. Also, my understanding is through that process, it is very lengthy, like up to 8-10 years to get them to accept the maps. So as soon as we have this data, it will become what we use, and we're allowed to use it as best available data. And so excited to have this happen. I do believe ours is going to be, their plan was to start at the north end of the watershed. So I look forward to that too, because that's where we're at, and we think we'll be kind of up at the beginning of this process.
FEMA has accepted a new map as of September 12th.
On
On the FEMA.
for the entire.
Watershed. For the western, eastern part.
Yeah, for partial. This is 100% of our county, so, and very good detail. All right, let's see. All right, I would entertain a motion on that.
I'll make the motion when we approve a project management agreement with the Oasis River Authority to engage in studies of flood hazards and improve the long-range management of flood-prone areas in Medina County.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lawler, second by Commissioner Lynch. Any other, stated by Commissioner Lawler, is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 21, discuss and take possible action to approve the public health emergency preparedness, which is our PHEP grant contract number HHS 0014395 00026, amendment number 3 with the Department of State Health Services for the health unit. So this grant, the amount is $195,836. Before this adjustment, it was $207,014. So it went down by $17,804. However, and of course, this is all part of kind of what's going on with the federal government. We've been notified already that it's going to go back to its original, and there's going to be an amendment number 4 coming to us. We still need to approve this one, because this is currently working.
I'll make a motion to approve the public health emergency preparedness grant contract number HHS 0014395 amendment number 3 with the Department of State Health Services for the health unit.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Castiglione, as stated by her, seconded by Commissioner Sitter. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 22, discuss and take possible action to approve the 9th Amendment to the interlocal cooperation agreement between counties and cities associated with Operation Lone Star for the law enforcement services. This is pretty straightforward. They just added in Splendora PD and Kennedy Fayette County Sheriff's Office to this agreement. That's what the amendment is.
Move we approve the 9th Amendment to the interlocal cooperation agreement between counties and cities associated with Operation Lone Star for law enforcement services.
Second.
I have a motion stated by Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Lawler. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 23, discuss and take possible action to approve the following Commissioner Court meeting minutes, October 3rd, 2025 and October 20th of 2025.
You just have October 3rd.
What's that?
You just have October 3rd, the 20th. It's not there.
We don't have the 20th?
No, no, no.
Okay, so disregard the 20th, October 3rd.
Make a motion we approve the Commissioner Court meetings from October 3rd, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Lawler to approve the Commissioner Court meetings from October 3rd, 2025, second by Commissioner Lynch. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Motion carries. Item 24, discuss and take possible action to approve the personnel action plans. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I have a couple of PAFs today, so we'll go ahead and jump into it. The first one we have is for employee Eva Rivera under Department Head Gina Champion, and that one is for retirement. Next one we have is for employee named Leanne Quintanilla under Department Head Gina Champion, and that one is a promotion/transfer. Next PAF we have is on Brandy Budd under Department Head Randy Brown, Sheriff, and that is a new hire. Next one we have is for Xavier Lackey under Department Head Sheriff Randy Brown, and that one is for dismissal. Next we have Raymond Lee McVeigh under Department Head Randy Brown, that one is for retirement. And the last two we have, first one is for Teresa Carpenter under Department Head Carly Cannell, and that one is an increase within approved slot. And last we have is for employee Stacy Kraus under Department Head Carly Cannell, and that one is for resignation.
I'll make a motion to approve the personnel action forms.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Castiglione to approve the personnel action form. We have a second by Commissioner Sitter. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 25, discuss and take possible action to approve an updated Medina County personnel policy.
All right, here we are. So this has taken a while, but we got it together. I was proud and glad I was able to meet with all of you separately for the issues that had come up within the county in a short time, and also in the time that Ruby did fill me in what was going on, and so on and so forth. So to highlight some of the key changes, mainly the big ones, this is really just for closing up loose ends and to make sure that no one can take full advantage of our current policy, as there are some holes. And so the first one is found on page 13. It's about temporary part-time length. So that one was increased to no longer than 6 months. Currently, it is at 3 months. Another one is found on page 25, reasons of discipline. We did add a gross misconduct caveat there, and that is to just cover different aspects that are not mentioned in the current policy, such as inappropriate relationships and or fighting, things like that. On page 28, I did get with the auditor's office, and we did add the mileage and travel reimbursement in process. It just shows examples of how mileage will be added now. The process of mileage allowed, meaning, for example, like if you live in Hyannis, you're going to go to a conference in San Antonio. Well, you're not going to get reimbursed the mileage from Hyannis to Hondo, where you would normally report from work. Everything from Hondo to San Antonio will be covered in mileage and things like that. Of course, with travel, do's and don'ts of travel, such as alcohol, not even a question, will not be reimbursed, and other non-reimbursable expenditures. Cell phone usage on page 34, we did check it out. So currently it talks about every employee that is eligible can get a $50 per month reimbursement for cell phone expenses. However, in current policy, it does say you could up it, getting it approved in Commissioner's Court. So we are going to go ahead and get rid of that. So it's just strictly going to be a $50 reimbursement, as I believe everyone in here that does get the reimbursement. Weather closings and emergencies, which is hazardous duty pay, which is on page 52. So this one is just establishing during weather emergencies, elected officials still have the authority to determine who must or needs to work during that weather closing. And then, of course, in the hazard duty pay, it's more established details if Medina County were to have a county emergency declared by the county judge. This one does ensure that for non-essential employees that they are paid hazard pay if warranted for things like fires, natural disasters, health crisis support, etc. Holiday pay for the sheriff's office, page 65. So this cuts down the holiday pay if someone were to work a minute or two into a holiday. A new minimum amount of hours needs to be worked to receive that holiday pay. So being over payroll, we have seen that a couple of times, especially this past, couple of months, where we see someone that should have been off shift by 11 p.m., maybe 11:58 p.m., they're told to go home, but then they clock out at 12:01. Well, then we pay them holiday pay. So we did get with sheriff, and he agreed that, that's taking advantage of the system. So we put it into that, at least 4 hours needs to be met on that holiday. Also, it clarifies in more detail about who gets admin pay if they physically do not work on that day. So there is actual chart that gives the breakdown for who actually receive it and who does not receive it. Terminations on PTO, page 64, so that does tie up a loose end that they will not be paid out. So PTO is a benefit from the county, not an hours work benefit, so it will not be paid out. Military leave, page 69, so this one is having employees turn in their orders to supervisors within 2 days of receipt from those DD-42 orders or whatever orders they do get for the military. We've had to come in and just like, well, where are they? What's going on? So I think we should tighten that up, but it will be their employee's responsibility to get with their supervisor immediately so payroll and HR can have those orders in their file. And then we have bereavement leave on page 67. So 20 hours was made more clear instead of 3 days because we had a lot of questions about that. Also, this does include the spouses, parents, brothers, and sisters-in-laws. It does do away with the single day /8 hours for the family because if anyone does have a mother-in-law or a father-in-law here, they're just as much as family as they are your regular mother and father if you have that great relationship with them. So we're going to go to 3 days. Also, to cover a loose end there, bereavement leave shall be utilized within 31 days or 30 days of passing. If it is needed in certain circumstances, that will be allowed, but the employee just needs to reach out to HR. And certain circumstances would be, like for example, prayerfully we never get there again, but like something like COVID. They're holding bodies for about 3-4 months in freezers, and then they're having the funeral whenever it was allowed. And then, here we go, our on-call road and bridge on page 52. So, after meeting with you all separately, in court a separate time, I believe in Commissioner's Workshop, so the way it's written now is for any emergency call-outs after hours, they will be paid at time and a half of their rate only after they hit 40 hours for the work week. So it will still be up to the commissioners to establish a rotation call-out schedule to ensure equality in overtime. I have heard, different complaints from precinct workers about how certain individuals, well, we don't get to that opportunity or whatever the case is. So just tightening up there in your precincts about schedule or whatever best situation y'all want to run. And this will limit call-outs only if after hours worked are in the week to ensure they get their pay at time and a half. So for example, I wanted to give y'all a perfect example, and that is like let's take this week. Someone's going to work 10 hours, today, and then let's say they get called out tonight at, for 4 or 5 hours. Well, in order for them to get those 4 or 5 hours of time and a half, well, that employee is going to want to make sure, I want to make sure I'm here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday so I get paid those 4 hours. Of course, that time will be paid at the end of the week, but it'll just solidify to help you all more. So you know what? If an employee is like, oh, I got 4 hours, I'm not feeling that well the next day. Well, money is mostly a driven factor for a lot of people, so it'll ensure that they do come in. Big thing about this is holidays and on call. So it's perfect because I did want to bring this up because it is a little tricky, especially with Veterans Day coming up, and I want to let the commissioners know. So with Veterans coming up, it's on a Tuesday. So an employee will work 10 hours on that Monday. They will receive 8 hours of vacation on Tuesday. They will work 10 hours on Wednesday and then 10 hours on Thursday. So this work week that I just described is an actual 30 physical hours work week. Then they have 8 hours of holiday. So they will be paid out for 38 hours, and then they will end up utilizing comp time or PTO, vacation, however you want to put it, for them to meet their full 40. If they were to work on that Tuesday at, let's say, 10 hours, okay, they will work all 10 hours at straight time. Okay, so all 10 hours. And they will get paid their extra 8 hours of vacation at straight time. Okay, so that's 40 hours of physical work, then we have 8 hours of holiday. For example, if they ended up working 12 hours on that Tuesday, they will be paid for 10 hours straight time, 8 hours straight time for the holiday, and then the 2 extra hours will be paid at time and a half. That's how it is written with the FLSA labor laws. You just can't pay time and a half. Physical hours are not worked past 40. So that was just an example, so just heads up. I know we can't avoid it. Something will eventually happen, you know, it's a matter of when, on holidays. And it's just part of the process. If you get called out, well, then we gotta go. We have to respond to that call. But understanding that during holidays only, that's how it's gonna be paid straight time. But anything other than that, it will be at time and a half. Questions?
Thank you for working on this for so long and answering all of the commissioners' questions and concerns and going through examples with us. Because this has to be presented to all of the Medina County employees, and they are going to have questions about it, because I think that the policy was well overdue for an update. And I think this gives a lot of clarity where we did not have it before. And I really want to thank you and your office for doing this, and having asked that after this is all done, to come out to at least the precinct offices and sit down and talk with the employees about each one of these specifically.
Yes, ma'am, and that is still my plan. So I do plan to visit with all your offices, first for open enrollment, and then to go over policy with them. I don't mind. I love what I do. But yeah, you are all welcome. If y'all ever have anything, you know, please feel free to reach out to me in my office. And of course, thank you for Ruby for making a smooth transition into this position and giving me the fill-ins and whatnot. And our policy, you know, going forward, it'll be set. Now, things change, but it's okay, because that's where the amendments come in, and we'll just change a certain thing where it goes into effect on that month and year going forward. Like right now, I know we're looking into a lot of stuff for IT. I'm already working on a multi-factor authenticator for company computers, and that will need to be in policy. So I'm already working on it. I have some stuff drafted out. So I'll make sure I get with the IT policy, and I'll just bring it here and we'll add it in the computer usage area. But that'll continue to happen. But it's not a bad thing. It just, we have our policy in place, and so we're just going to continue to make it better as we go on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is about 2 years of work in progress that we've been working on this, but I do believe that when we got down to the final product, I think it brought a lot of clarity into a lot of different areas in here. I'm a believer that you should be able to pick this up and anybody will be able to read it and know this is the answer, not, well, maybe it's this or maybe it's the other. So that's why it took so long to try to work through those pieces. So
I think you took a lot of time with us up here in our work crews and those questions. We had to cover every scenario. They'll probably come up with one some.
Normally, leave it to them, but I get it, because, you know, I was on that side, so.
If you could just break down the short list of the major changes that you put in this thing,
Yes, sir.
I think it makes your job a whole lot easier to come visit us.
Perfect.
Go through the whole process.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is what we're changing.
PowerPoint presentation, major changes.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
second by Commissioner Lawler to approve the updated Medina County personnel policy. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. At this time, we are going to actually move all the way down to our executive session, because we have a 10:30 scheduled for that. We're just 15 minutes out from that. So we'll move to item number 41. After that, we will come back in and finish the rest of the meeting. I'm sorry, item 40, executive session to discuss matters related to security devices and/or security audit pursuant to the Texas Government Code Section 551.076 and 551.089. And again, we'll do that. I'm contemplating maybe at the most about 30 minutes, and then we'll be back to take up the rest of the agenda. And everybody's welcome to stay in here. We are actually going to go to the conference room in the back.
Good night.
All right, we closed executive session at 11 a.m. and we are going to resume our regular agenda at this time. I'll tell you what, because we just came back, let's go into item 41. So we reconvene an open session, discuss, take possible action on matter discussed in a closed session, including but not limited to participation in the optional P&A program.
I'll make a motion to participate in the optional PMA program.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Castiglione, a seconded by Commissioner Sitter to participate in the optional P&A program. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. At this time, we are going to move to two other items before we get back to our normal spot, because we need to take care of these before we do accounts payable, because they're not payable. So we're going to go to agenda item 33. Discuss and take possible action to approve the purchase of a used dump truck for precinct 3.
Yeah, we're gonna purchase a dump truck from Holt Truck Centers. Been needing another one for quite a while now. Found a used one, which are very hard to come by. It's a 2017. If you look at when you get to our accounts payable, there is a little bit of information about it. But that's the intention. So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the purchase of a used dump truck for precinct 3.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Lawler, to approve the purchase of a used 2017 dump truck from Holt. What was the dollar amount?
$64,950.
950.
In the amount of $64,900.
950.
Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 34, discuss and take possible action to approve an agreement with Rantec Building Systems for the construction of a 600 square foot modular building to be delivered to precinct 3 yard.
Yes, many of y'all have been to my garden and just know my guys meet and have been meeting there forever. And heated and cooled barn sometimes has a roof on it, sometimes does not. I've been wanting to upgrade that for a long time. This company is the same company that's put the building in over at the fire department in Condo, in the industrial complex out here in the west. If y'all are interested in what the building looks like, my foreman and I kind of took a little tour of that when it was still in the construction phase. Pretty impressive. They're built well, built very sturdy. It can be moved at a later date if we ever decide to close that yard or the county decides to make a move in some other direction. It can be lifted off, and we can raise it up high enough to get out of the flood zone, because that yard is still in over there in this, and so that's the plan. And so I would like to make a motion that we approve an agreement with Rantec Building Systems for the construction of a 600 square foot modular building to be delivered to the precinct 3 yard. The price on that is with the ramps and the ADA compliant aluminum ramp and everything that comes with it, it ended up being $135,210.
A second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Lynch, second from Commissioner Lawler to approve the agreement with Rantec Building Systems for the construction of the 600 square foot modular building to be delivered to precinct 3 yard. Is there any further discussion?
I have something. So just as a reminder, 80,000 is gonna be getting paid out of the 10, and then the rest will be out of the commissioner's 23 fund. And we had to do this prior to accounts payable because according to the agreement, they are asking for 25%. So once that goes through, that it's an add-on, so you'll see that for the whole amount, but then as you complete it, we'll be able to release those funds.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Very good. Item number, now we're back to contract number 26, discuss and take possible action to approve the accounts payable.
Okay, accounts payable is $1,414,962.86. There's no wires. The replenishing of the jury cards, that new system that we went to was totaling $1,460. It's under the wires, but it's just a replenishment. Also, there are 3 add-ons totaling $200,221.04. And then all your invoices over $10,000 are on the cover sheet.
So in my 23 fund here in the accounts payable, those 2 items will never show up because they're add-ons to this one, correct? They're not
It won't be.
listing.
Yeah, it won't be
Not into
add-ons.
the report, not right now, but next time we can run it through accounts
It
payable,
doesn't
you'll be
have
able
to
to see
be, I'm
it.
just curious if they would ever show up.
You should see it next time. It was just this time because of the timing, we had to do it as an add-on, but yes.
Thank you all for working.
Sure, definitely.
And then just the other thing I almost forgot because of that one item, the tobacco fund that doesn't have any, we have to make a note of this on the approval. That is going to be actually coded to non-department.
Yeah, you see that there's a charge of
$203.94.
and 94 cents on the tobacco fund, the regular funds, and the tobacco fund. That's where, for WIC, we used to pay their meals and stuff out of that, but it's depleted now, so we're going to use that charge out of it. There's money in the tobacco fund.
So when AP is approved, that has to be a note in that approval.
I'll make the motion to approve accounts payable with the listed add-ons and with exception to the 051 fund on page 13.
also has to be noted about the non-departmental instead of the tobacco fund.
With about what?
Tobacco, we're to
We're
move the money
moving-
from tobacco fund to non-departmental.
Okay.
Is that?
To approve moving the money?
Yes.
From the tobacco fund to the non-departmental?
Correct. Is that part of your motion, sir?
Yes, that's,
I'll second that.
Okay.
that is the motion.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Lawler, seconded by Commissioner Lynch to approve the accounts payable with the, including the add-ons, accepting the 051 fund, and including the approval of moving the money from the tobacco fund to the non-departmental fund. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 27, discuss and take possible action to approve the disbursement of funds since last Commissioner Court meeting.
Okay, since last Commissioners Court, fuel, utilities, and dental were paid totaling $21,823.93.
I'll make a motion that we approve the disbursement of funds since the last Commissioners Court meeting.
Second.
Have a motion from Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Lawler to approve the disbursement of funds since last Commissioner Court meeting. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 28, discuss and take possible action to approve the county treasurer's monthly report.
All right, this is month-ending cash balance for Medina County combined funds is $28,989,326.28, with month-ending total debt owed by Medina County is $20,845,000.
So the debts to all my machinery has been paid off?
No, I think we still have precinct 1.
Not what? No, mine.
Just yours.
Just mine.
Just mine.
You're good. We did yours.
I'm paid off.
We did
That's
yours.
relieved me totally out of 100% out of debt.
You are.
First time ever.
All right, Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, first time ever.
Very nice.
And to have the reserve we have today is a blessing. No, I think I'll try it today, right?
I'll make a motion to approve the county treasurer's monthly report.
Second.
Have a motion from Commissioner Lawler, second by Commissioner Castiglione to approve the county treasurer's monthly report. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 29, discuss and take possible action to approve a Toshiba lease with maintenance agreement for a copy machine for the public defender's office in Hondo. This is for 60 months at $149.77 per month.
And they did budget this amount in the application for the grant, so we do have money for this budgeted.
I'll make a motion to approve a Toshiba lease with maintenance agreement for a copy machine for the public defender's office, Honda location.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the Toshiba lease
for the Public Defender's Office. Motion was made by Commissioner Castroville, seconded by Commissioner Sitter. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 30, discuss and take possible action to approve the fiscal year 25-26 Medina County Employee Incentive Policy.
This is the same policy that we run every year to make sure that commissioners are still on board on wanting to honor this policy. What the budget shows right now is we end up asking the departments if they choose to participate to choose funds from their current budget to move to this line if that's something that they want to do.
I move that we approve the fiscal year 2025-26 Medina County Employee Incentive Policy.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Lawler to approve the 25-26 Medina County Employee Incentive Policy. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 31, we're not ready for. That one's going to move to the next agenda. Item 32, acknowledgement of the Medina County Jail Commissary Audit Report for fiscal year 24-25.
Okay, so per statute, our office needs to conduct a commissary audit once a year and then report any findings to Commissioner's Court. So this is that audit, and we only have one finding, which is just a recommendation to how some things are handled within the jail as far as the receipts are concerned and voids, which is typically normally what we recommend and ask all other fee collecting offices to, a procedure that we ask them to do. Especially when there's handwritten receipts, we ask them to, document any voids. So that's the only finding. I did have some recommendations. Now, I personally went to the sheriff's office to conduct this audit. It was the first one that we've ever done in our office. So I did want to bring to the court's attention to that. Sheriff is always willing to work with me and he's open to anything. The jail, I went personally to conference and all the auditors there complain about how difficult the sheriff's office is, how they have to go in and audit their property room and they just get so much pushback. So I did want to give credit to the sheriff's office and the jail. In this case, my audit, but they're always very willing to work with our office and with open arms. Any questions that I ask, nothing is ever, pushed back or anything. So I was able to conduct a thorough commissary audit, and it's just per statute we have to bring it to court as an acknowledgement. After this is approved, or after it's acknowledged by the court, then I have to send a copy to Jail Commission because they also require a copy on their files for the audit.
Recommend that we acknowledge the Medina County Jail Commissary Audit Report for fiscal year 24-25.
Have a motion from Commissioner Castiglione, seconded by Commissioner Sitter to acknowledge the Medina County Jail Commissary Audit Report for fiscal year 24-25. Any other discussion? Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, item number 35, discuss and take possible action to revise section 2 of the fiscal year 25-26 Medina County investment policy regarding the number of hours of investment training under the quality and capability of investment management. And you have a copy in there. Commissioner Lynch actually brought this forward, and the section in there was not in step with what it said in local government code. So I think you have in there a highlighted copy of what the old was. The old one just said that the county investment officer is also required to attend 10 hours of investment training every year. And what we did is we pulled out pull that out and actually just as per the section 2256-008 and exactly what it said out of the local government code. And which changes it's every 2 years. It's not that annual. every
Yeah,
year.
our policy says every year.
Correct.
My personal opinion was that was probably more than was necessary. Very basic. We fund, we test very conservatively. Treasurer is on top of that and handles that, and anything that the investment committee adds could be learned once every 2 years, and we affirmed once every 2 years. So that is my recommendation, that instead of once every year, we make it once every 2 years for the continuing 10-hour education.
Yeah, and it's also in there that the first time, like, you have to do it within
Within a
12
year.
months. Yeah, we had appointed for the first time, and then every 2 years.
So we've got one coming up in early
In
February of 26, that
And it does say minimum, if somebody wants to attend annually, they certainly can, but this makes the minimum every 12.
Well, and like I was talking with David one time too, just on that subject, like I get hours based on some of my other trainings, I will also get investment. So there's very possible that some of the stuff that y'all go to, you also can get investment hours on those. You just have to look at your TAP thing and you'll get, for one conference, I got 3 different steps, 3 different hours for the same conference in 3 different areas. So just kind of keep that on your radar for both of y'all too, that there could be that you get hours in your other trainings.
They have that every conference we go to.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I said in each one. So like I went to one conference and I got investment committee, investment officer, and my own treasury one, all 3 of them for one conference. Different amount of hours, but the same, because it depends on the speakers that are there as to how many hours you get. So the same thing with y'all's conferences. If they have one that is investment, you would get those credits towards that.
I'll make a motion that we revise section 2 of the fiscal year 2025-26 Medina County investment policy regarding the number of hours of investment training under quality and capability of investment management. I need to specify.
I would say as
Okay.
revised, as in the revised document.
As revised document section 2256.1008.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lynch, seconded by Commissioner Lawler, as stated by Commissioner Lynch. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Thank you for your help with that, David.
Motion
You're
carries.
welcome.
Item number 36, discuss and take possible action to approve a professional services agreement with Oparkis Law Firm, PC, to serve as special counsel on an as-needed basis for a project specifically requested by Medina County. They kind of do some specialty work. They're the ones that handle our law enforcement stuff currently as well. They've got some other expertise items in there that we would like to be able to utilize them for. Maggie, we've been working on this, so asking for the court's approval to be able to do this professional services agreement with them.
I'll make the motion that we approve the professional services agreement with Portuguese Law Firm, PC, to serve as special counsel on any and as-needed basis for projects specifically requested by Medina County.
They have a motion as stated by Commissioner Lawler, seconded by Commissioner Lynch. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Item 37, discuss and take possible action to pass a resolution casting the votes to elect the board of directors for Medina County Appraisal District for 26-27. We have our 1,600 votes. It's actually up just a little bit this year. And my recommendation, Chip Macon is the one that sits in the position for the Hennis area, which is kind of the position we had before. And my recommendation is that we cast those votes for Chip. And I believe there are 5, yes, there were 5 total people that, I'm sorry, there's 5 positions on that board. There's 6 people that are in there, so 5 out of the 6 people will end up on the board after everybody's voted.
I make a motion resolution casting the vote to elect the board of directors for the Medina Appraisal District 2026-27.
And would you add in there the 1,600 votes for
1,600 for who?
Chip making.
Chip. Okay. New chip station at 1,600 volts.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sitter, seconded by Commissioner Lynch to pass the resolution casting the votes for the Board of Directors for the Medina Central Appraisal District, 1,600 votes to Chip Macon. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 38, discuss and take possible action to release construction bond number 0832516 for Valley Oak subdivision, phase 4, located in precinct 1 on County Road 241.
Yeah, so this is, the release of the construction bonds for phase 4. They wrapped up the construction of the phase 4 roads and signing, probably at, mid-September. Went out there 2 weeks ago, just to look. Everything looks like the plans were followed. I got the local density test. Went out there was a couple of modifications that I wanted, and just some minor cleanup, cleaning up some of the loose rock from the seal coat they put down, and then regrading a little bit of the intersection because it did have some drop-offs on the pavement. They got that corrected, went back out and verified that all the punch list items were correct, so I would recommend that we release the bond number 0832516 for Valley Oak subdivision, phase 4, located in precinct 1 on County Road 241.
I'll second that. Who was the developer on that one? Southern?
Sutherland, Medina County.
Southern, okay.
I have a motion as stated by Commissioner Castiglione, seconded by Commissioner Sitter. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 39, discuss and take possible action to accept the newly assigned private road 6826 located in precinct 4 into the official mapping system.
This is a piece of property that has 6 homes sharing a single entrance, so it is need to get it marked for emergency service purposes. So with that being said, I make a motion that we assign the new private road 6826 in the official mapping system.
Second.
Have a motion from Commissioner Lawler to accept the newly assigned private road 6826 into the official mapping system, seconded by Commissioner Lynch. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Item number 42, board member announcements.
The first, so if y'all look at the accounts payable, y'all did see we looked at precinct 1 through precinct 4. Precinct 1 had a huge purchase from Ergon Asphalt. And what I have challenged my guys to do is I wanted to do a lot of seal coats towards the end of this year to get ready for the winter time because, you know, I have all faith that it's going to rain. And we want to get a whole bunch of roads sealed up, and my guys really did rise to the challenge. From the end of September to the end of October, my guys sealed almost 14 miles of county roads in precinct 1. And what they're working on for the next 2 weeks is we are also doing a lot of fog seals on some of our county roads. The roads that are in pretty good shape, they're paved, they have their double seals on them, but you're starting to see the cracks and some places where the rock has popped off and exposed the base material. And those are basically your future potholes. So the fog seals actually seal those up and keep the water out of it over the winter time. Just last week, that. So getting everything sealed up, before the winter time hits, and then we'll be out there, replacing signs and delineators and shaping up the roadside.
Thank you. Talking about some of the delineators, I just purchased $32,000 worth of signs and delineators. We're lighting up the road, a lot of roads, all of our turns and culverts. We've been doing a bunch of tree trimming, and I tell you what, the phone calls that come into the office, it's unbelievable the people that notice something like that so fast. It's opening up these roads, lighting them up. We did replace or lay down about 3.5 miles of buttons on Lower Cross Road. It really lit that thing up, especially around the dark corners and stuff. We're working on some header walls in a couple subdivisions that, the header wall has came apart from the pipe. So instead of pass, we're gonna get a whole bunch of new header walls. And again, if anybody is wanting to see the Bear subdivision on April 13th, I know the judge has some stuff to, April 13th at 10 o'clock. Please be out there. November 13th. It's a beautiful laid out subdivision. Like I say, it's probably the state of the art that we have worked on in Medina County. So please come out and support our efforts on that. And that's all I got.
Precinct 3 is good. We are working on County Road 520, trying to reclaim and prep it. That's west of Dehennis, south of Highway 90, for seal coating, if we can squeeze it in before weather changes. Also, various roads in the old Dehennis area, which is west of Dehennis proper. Going to do the same thing on those, reclaim and get them prepped at least and see if we can squeeze them in. Thank you all for everybody's help, especially Precinct 2 for water truck. We broke a drive shaft on our water truck in the middle of trying to reclaim that property, and Precinct 2 loaned us theirs, and so it's working out well and trying to get ours fixed.
Precinct 4 is good. We have the shredder going. I have one crew on trash, and we're still laying cones in Twin Lakes. And I also have one guy on a boom shredder trying to make the circle.
Excellent. The only thing I'm going to hand these out to the court. I got some information from the Texas Demographic Center. They do kind of annual population updates on what they think our counties are. And I think that I just did this out of the report, which is kind of the surrounding counties around us. And I just highlighted the 2 yellow columns, which is current, and then the percentage of change since 2020. The number, though, for Medina County that they're estimating right now is 56,647, which is ironically about the number that I always use. I think that's somewhere where we are, so I think it's probably a pretty accurate current number. But I just wanted to share that with the court, the updates there. Of course, that's the 11.6% change from 2020. There's 3 bigger ones of us in there. The Comauza shows a 28.5% increase, 14.7 in Gillespie, and 13.3 in Atascosa County. So, but I thought it was some good data for everybody. So
Comal, Kendall, and Wilson.
right, and this one, and it's ranked, by the way, you probably caught that, but I have it ranked just by the most populous, which is obviously the state of Texas. They're showing 31 million people currently, and 2.167 million in Bear County. So I just
like
wanted
that's
to
interesting. We've got 8.3 in the whole state of Texas and 11.6 of them in Bear County. And I'll say 95% of them are one precinct.
That is interesting. With the state of Texas, in 5 years, they grew 8%. So we're at 11%. So we're growing faster than the state average.
All I tell you is our office is really busy with developers, with lawyers, meeting with it weekly. It's not slowing down, people. It's just really moving forward. It just, a lot of people have, I tell them we accept the good and we work with the bad. With the way the Texas laws are wrote, Microsoft will come in, they don't have to come up here and pay you nothing. They don't have to help us pay $5 million for a road. They don't have to ask us nothing. They can just come here and sit down and go to work. That's just our state legislators that have our hands tied. The cities have a worse scenario. You know, if the developer don't like the plans they have in the city of Castroville, they just pull out and come together. On top of all that, and it happened in 2022, here 2 months ago, if they don't like what the county has to offer, they go to TCEQ, TCEQ gives them okay, they come in and put what they want, put up anyhow. We have a problem with the legislator in Texas. So, and Maggie, she stayed on top of this stuff 110%. Commissioner Court, our hands are tied. Stopping somebody, they said, well, stop them. There are no laws, they stop them, unless you get the people quit selling their land. That's the only thing that's going to stop it.
Excellent. Anybody else? Anything else? If not, we will stand adjourned. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody being here. Yeah.